What we're going to go through right now is problem number 8. This problem is about inverse functions. And they're giving us 3 functions here. And they tell us find which one of those 3, find a pair that are inverse of each other. So we need to find 2, select 2 of this when they're inverse of each other. Well, something that helps is, since they're very simple equations here with very simple functions, what we have in the first place, f, what is doing, everything you put in there multiplies it by 5. G, everything you put in there divides by 5. And G, every x you put in there, a value you put in there, you're going to find the reciprocal of it and then multiply by 5. If you hear what I just said, it's very simple. The idea of saying that f and g are going to be inverse of each other, because the first one is multiplying by 5, the second one is dividing by 5. That right there you can right away say these are inverse of each other. It's like saying the first one is adding, the second one is subtracting, inverse of each other. Well, but the way we saw it in class, and I'm just going to show you the process, is we're going to find the table for the first one. Real quick, table. This one is going to be for f and everything. The domain is all real numbers because it's just multiplying by 5. There's no restriction in this one. This is x and this is 5x, right? Or x and y. Okay, so if I start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Multiply by 5, 0. 5 times 1, 5. 5 times 2, 10. 5 times 3, 15. And 5 times 4, 20. Okay, now, we're going to, since I want to know if this one is the inverse, I'm going to try to switch the values here and put them in this table for the second one. Because remember, 2 inverse functions, what we see is if a value in the first one is AB, the second one has to be BA, because the inverse of it, because that's what the inverse does. Any pair that is in the original function, the inverse is going to switch it around. So this is going to be x and x over 5. It's going to divide it by 5. I'm going to put the values that I put in the range of this one. I'm going to put them here. So I have 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. And let's see if I can find the values from the domain. What's going to happen when I divide 0 by 5 is 0. So the first one is the same. Well, actually the same value. So if I switch these two, they are the same. They coincide. Then divide 5 over 5 is 1. See? 1, 5, 5, 1. If I divide this one by 5, I have 2. Now it's instead of 2, 10, I have 10, 2. If I divide 15 over 5, I have 3. So this is 15, 3, and this one is 3, 15. And the last one is what happens if I divide by 5. I have divided by 5, I have 4. So instead of 24, it was 420. So we see that all of them coincide, right? This one will be A with 5A. And if I put 5A here, divide by 5, and have A. See? So we can tell right away these two are inverse of each other. The third one, we can actually see it. And in order to see if this one is inverse of that one, I need to put all these values, the same thing I did with this one, all the values from the range of the first one, I'm going to put them here. This is x and 5 of x. You're going to see right away it is not the inverse. I'm going to put all these ones here. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, first of all, the domain of this one doesn't accept 0. It doesn't go for 0. It doesn't even work for 0. So that's why this is not the inverse. The inverse are f and g.